Hello, everyone. Caren Glasser here, and welcome to today's Little White Lie. This is the movement about loving the age that you're in. And each and every week, I get to invite some amazing people to join me to share their tips and their tricks and their strategies to embrace their authentic self and their talents and their gifts and say yes to their own little white lie. So if you are here on live, welcome. We're so happy that you're here. Go ahead and share the love. There's a little share button down there. We'd love to have you share it out with your community, your network, and to bring, just like a gazillion people to come in, or maybe not a gazillion, maybe just a buzzillion, whatever. We'd love to have them. And if you're here on replay, we're delighted that you're here as well. Make sure that you make comments down below, because Bettyanne and I, my special guest for today, we're going to go in and we're going to respond, and we're going to be looking for your comments, because this is all about you. We are a we. It's not about me and it's not about Bettyanne. It's about us. This is an us kind of show. Thanks, Joey. Joey shared. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And so I'm going to do my reveal, because I do this each and every week. Here's my lovely, lovely hair color. It's coming in beautifully. I'm really, really enjoying it. If you'd like to share this and you'd like to make a comment, make sure you use the hashtag little white lie. I'm going to put it up there just so you can see it, because sometimes we forget. I know I do all the time. And we would love for you to go visit the website at thelittlewhitelie.com. So today our topic is stereotypes. We're talking about stereotypes. And very specifically, the question that we're asking today is, how do you deal with stereotypes around women, work, and age? And who better to talk about this really interesting topic than my good friend Bettyanne Green? Not only is she my good friend Bettyanne Green, she is like my copywriter extraordinaire. This woman knows how to write, thank goodness, because me, not so much. I come up with some good ideas, but she is the brains behind my blog posts, and I want to give her credit for that. She is a content marketing strategist and a copywriter who helps small business owners position themselves as experts to build loyal supporters, attract clients that they love to serve. From a 30-year career in marketing, communications, writing, and graphic design, her current love affair is with helping big-hearted entrepreneurs. I guess I would be one of those big-hearted entrepreneurs, uncover their unique voice and their brilliance to share their gifts with the world. And so without further ado, I'm going to welcome in Bettyanne Green. Come on in, Bettyanne. How are you today?
I am excellent. I am so excited to be with you. One of my favorite movements.
Well, I am really excited that you're here today, because truly, as much as this is the voice of me, you are really kind of the voice of me. So between the two of us, we really are getting this message out there, and it's so exciting to see where it's all going. And so, Bettyanne, I have to ask you this question right out the gate. What is your little white lie?
I have a lot. I have to say, when I was thinking about this conversation today, actually, I discovered my little white lie, which is relevant. It's germane to what we're going to talk about. And so thank you for allowing me to get in touch with that, And it really is that with the outward person that I was for years, I struggled with roles. I struggled with fitting in or not fitting in. And I haven't thought about this for a long time. And the idea of wanting to fit in, but I was a creative. I really didn't fit anywhere. And before the creative was really talked about. So I would a piece of me would say, oh, I want to fit in. And then the next part of me would say, yeah, but I don't even get that group. They're not authentic, or they're divisive, or, whatever that was, back and forth and back and forth. And I spent a lot of years like that. It was a struggle. And I don't think it showed on the outside often, but whew. So many years later, I think with personal growth work and spiritual growth work and years of experience behind me, I don't think I do it so much anymore.
Well, so we got a comment up here from Kat Williford. She says, oh, the roles of fitting in stuff we get caught up in. Isn't that the truth?
Yes, so true. So,
Totally the truth. And we have Donine who said, "Oh, I can so relate to this." I think
wow.
we can all relate to this. So, as we said at the beginning of the show, we're talking about stereotypes, and very specifically, how do you deal with stereotypes around women and work and age? So, let's just jump in. I guess the question is, do we? Can we? How do we do this?
It's such a great question. You know, it is such a huge topic, and I think we're going to go toe in the water here, unless the show is several hours long with a lot of people involved. Um, I think we can't, beat stereotypes. The truth is that we come into this world in a set of constructs and assumptions as soon as we're in the world. The location where we live, the socioeconomic level we come into, our gender, our skin color, our ethnicity, our position in the family, the baggage our parents have brought in. All of those things are assumptions and constructs and roles. And it's our world at that time. It's our reality at that time. What we hope is as we grow older, we realize that that's not reality. They are literally just assumptions. And that we begin to pick and choose. What are the roles that we want to have? What do we want to reject? What do we want to keep? Some of us do it better than others. I struggled. Roll
So we
schmalls.
have.
There we go. Roll schmalls.
Yeah, I think that was funny. Actually, I put that one up, and also, why do we think our roles are what tell us who to be? I mean, that is exactly it. We kind of fall into that. We got another comment. The way I found to address and handle myself around stereotypes is to leaning into my authenticity. Oh my God, Kat. Well, we know you are the queen of authenticity, and my love. And it's such a great comment. And we got one more here.
Wow.
Let me just, we got a lot. It's a really hot topic here. Hold on. Well, and Kat said, you're the real deal. So you totally are the real deal. So, I already kind of know you and I have talked about this, but let's hear your story, because the reason why I really wanted to have you on and to talk about this topic is that you hit those stereotypes head on. I mean, you just decided to do your thing. So tell us a little bit how you navigated this and how your story really pertains to what we're talking about right now.
Well, I think in a lot of ways, where do I begin? No, I think one of the things that is my story that it relates to a lot of folks out there, because I am in the smack dab in the middle of the boomers, 1953, right in the beginning. I mean, right in the middle. And so the college years so we grew up in the 50s, the Ozzie and Harriet years for shorthand purposes. And then the 60s, the nutty 60s, where everything was against and anti and everything got blown open. Then the early 70s, when I was in college, it was about working on women's issues, getting the ERA, passed, didn't do, working for Ralph Nader's organization with consumerism, Rainbow Coalition, all those things. It was like building a new role, a new world. And and at the time I said, and I'm not getting married, and I'm not doing a wedding, and I'm not going to bring 2 more humans onto this overpopulated planet, all those things.
Right.
When then real life hit, and of course I met the man of my dreams, who still is, and moved into those roles as a creative, not feeling domestic. I've never been domestic. And from that shift in time that we were all going through, early women's lib. So, I ended up I was a housewife with 2 kids and a husband who was the breadwinner, who I was out there in the corporate world. And I actually remember the milestone moment when I was an active participant, but there's this day where the milestone moment where, wait a minute, I'm living in suburban Connecticut. My husband has just left to go on a trip in corporate America. I have a new baby. How the hell did I get here?
Oh, I love that. I have to write that on the screen. You keep on talking. I'm going to write that comment out, though.
And of course, I loved it. But it's just, how did this happen to me? The funny thing is, I had just gotten a contact from my brother of someone I knew. I didn't know anybody in town, but someone he knew who gave voice lessons. And I picked up the phone and I started voice lessons. It was the only thing to do. And actually, I ended up singing professionally for 10 years. So that was a case where I did struggle to fill my role. None of my friends were having children then. I was already 30. Nobody was having children. So it was a matter of working those things out. And going through those roles over a lot of years. My latest iteration is moving here 10 years ago to California, kind of clean slate, fresh canvas. Where is my sweet spot of what I love to do and what I can give to other people that they need? And that's where I am now. And I'll get back to that because there's a piece of that I think represents where we are in fuzzying the boundaries.
Right.
So we can get back to that in a little bit.
So I'd like to ask our viewers, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh because I'm getting kicked back. So hold on. Bettyanne, you're going to be in here all by yourself. Actually, it just stopped, so we're just going to keep on going. So let's ask our viewers, what stereotypes are you breaking through right now? Let's talk about the stereotypes that you're breaking through while I continue to have this conversation with Bettyanne. And go ahead. Oh, here we go. Go ahead and put your comments in there because I'm going to pop them up on the screen. Let's hear what your stereotypes and how you're pushing through them and to create your new world for yourself as you push through those stereotypes. Right. So Bettyanne, here you are now. You're sitting, and we're going to be talking about this in future episodes of being a woman in a man's world, right? You and I have had that conversation. But as you've pushed through these stereotypes, I mean, I resemble that actually. I, was a stay-at-home mom when early on, believe it or not. I mean, I feel like I've been working all my life, but I was a stay-at-home mom, and my son was born. And after 6 months, it was like, as much as I really have so much respect for stay-at-home moms, you have the hardest job in the whole world. I mean, you do. You have the hardest job in the whole world. And I found myself 6 months in saying I couldn't wait to go back to work. I needed to break, I didn't want, the stereotype for me is if I stayed at home and was just, and that was the stereotype, just a stay-at-home mom, I didn't appreciate that. And I don't know how, you started to talk about that. I mean, it's a struggle for us, I think, as women.
It is. And I always worked. I was able to create my own role, actually. And as I look back, perhaps I did it better than I thought. I thought I was struggling, so that I was able to work from home. I did marketing communications. I worked for entrepreneurs. I drew caricatures for a while. So I did art shows on the weekends when my husband could be home. But I was able to work at home and work with entrepreneurs, as I said, with nonprofits, with their corporate identity, their newsletters, their brochures, all of their marketing. So I was very lucky in that way. Here's what I think has changed. And it's so exciting. I think the reason that you and I are doing what we're doing, and so many of the little white liars out there, is this. It's the gift of the Great Recession in 2008.
Good point.
When that happened, the whole paradigm of the corporate life, where you went to college and you got, or whatever it was, or you worked in an auto factory, whatever it was, but the business took care of you. You were there for a while. You moved up in it. You had your pension, all that. You retired at 65. You got your little watch and your party, and you were done. And that just got blown out of the water with the recession, when people were fired. I forget downsized. That's a euphemism. They were fired. They were dropped. They were laid off. Women who were at home had to go back to work. Women had to reinvent themselves to other kinds of work, as men did as well. It was really, in some ways, a really rough time. However, it was a really creative time because people had to reinvent themselves and think about things in a new way. And what I've been seeing in my personal life, certainly in my clients, and what I've been reading, is people got creative. They began to find different ways of doing business. So the corporate lines have been fuzzied. The second thing that happened, the beauty part, is around that same time is the rise of the internet and the rise of social media. So all of a sudden, you have this open playing field for like next to no money. You can start your business, accomplish something, create influence in the entire world. Crazy. And I think those two together changed a lot of things for women. You don't have to see people online. You're not walking into an interview where they get to judge you, what your age is, what your cred is. That doesn't happen as much anymore. So I think those two things really have gone a long way in fuzzying the lines. And it's why I'm doing the work I'm doing now.
Yeah. And we're getting feedback again. So hold on. Let's see how long it will take. And it's not working. I'm going to refresh.
The struggle to be taken seriously, Nancy, absolutely.
And I'm back, except I have the wrong camera, so I'm going back out.
I'll talk to Nancy Ferrari there. That is very true. Very true. And all we can really do, the stereotypes don't stop. It's really our mindset around them. Just like we had to do as children, moving into that world we had of roles and assumptions and the stereotypes that we were born into. We can choose. It's our choice whether we want to stick with them or not. Anyway, I'm carrying on.
So Bettyanne, you're hired. You can run the show. I love this. Isn't this great? So, and this is great because we're getting some amazing comments that are coming up on the screen right now. But one of the things that I want to make sure we do, because I know you and I talked about, you have an exercise that you wanted to share with our viewers. So why don't we jump into that, okay, and then we'll come back around. So talk to us a little bit about this exercise.
Okay. So the idea is that stereotypes don't go away, role expectations don't go away, but we do have a choice of being aware of where we are in them. When my father-in-law turned 80 at his birthday party, somebody asked those questions that they ask, what are your words of wisdom for the younger people here? And he said, it was so simple and beautiful, and he said, pay attention. And I actually don't know what he meant, but it stayed with me because what I see that meaning is pay attention to how we show up and relate to the world around us and see, are we making judgments of others? Are we stereotyping? Are we separating? How's our body and our mind and our heart feeling when we're in this role? Walking into a room where we're going, oh, wait, I don't need to be here. This is not a good place for me to be. So I really think that's the same thing. There's a theme here with the little white lie. It's the inside job. It's the mindset. Don't you think? Yeah. So
I totally agree.
Yeah. And what I was thinking is, when I'm thinking about this, I'm a word person. Obviously, I believe in the power of words. And I believe that actually our words are the outpicturing of our mind, our heart, what we're thinking out there. So what I invite folks to do is to think about what you're saying. Think about your words. I'm the first to do it. It goes like head, right out.
Right.
But how we show up and knowing our impact, absolutely. And to think about our words. Maybe take a day, a week where you're thinking about what you're saying, hearing what you're saying, and whether you're making judgments on yourself, whether you're making judgments around other people, whether you've drunk the Kool-Aid of a role that you've never thought about before that's not serving you. There's a lot that can be learned. We can learn a lot about what we're saying out there.
I love that.
One beautiful one that women say is, oh, sorry. That.
I know. What is with that? We say we're sorry for everything. And you know what? Are we really? We're not really, but we have been conditioned to say, I'm sorry. We take responsibility for everything, whether it's our fault or not. I want to put up a post up here. This is from Deanna, and she writes, stereotype breakthrough. I'm called to be a hybrid teaching and sharing with our age group and younger, how we can work together. My stereotype is age. Breakthrough. Age is of a mind. I am now a virtual nomad. I love it. And you are. Oh my gosh. I'm watching you travel all over the place. And oh my gosh, these comments are coming in fast and furious. Here's another one from Adrea. She writes, my kids should stay in school, not go to meetings or events with me around my business. There you go.
There's one. Break that thing.
And then we got another one. Oh my God. This is, guys, you guys are awesome. I'm so happy
you're little white liars.
I think the stereotype is all part of the illusion we have been trained to accept. Now we have choices. We are not stereotypes. We are living in a time when we get to choose who we play. The gift of roles is we can use different roles. We can create a new way of being. Absolutely. And Maggie, one more. I had a 31-year successful career in corporate in a predominantly male environment, gave me the confidence to start a second career and having fun doing it. Amen. That's awesome.
Maggie is the bomb. She's the bomb. She's a great example of that. And you know what's great about that, and she's a great example of that in the sense too, what ended up happening is when we got jarred out of our jobs, back in 2008 or maybe later, we began to say, you know what, I'm not going back there. I want to do something that's meaningful. I want more meaning in my life. And she's totally one of those people.
So I've got one more, and it's going to cover both of our faces, so just be prepared because here it comes. And that is, I seek to minimize this. This is from April Roga. I seek to minimize the stereotypes surrounding special needs mom. This is why I'm bringing it up because of the good work that you do, April. I think there are still some people who see special needs moms as incapable of doing anything except parenting. For instance, and I'm going to, this will be on the screen so you guys can read this and go down in the comments to see the rest of it. But what you are saying, what you are all saying is exactly the point that we are putting out here today. And I want to thank you so much for playing with us. This is so awesome. You know what? We've already been on for 20. The time has just gone like so fast. We normally don't go this long, and I'm delighted. We're just going to go just a little bit longer. Is there anything else, Bettyanne, that you want to share with the audience in this, just the tip of the iceberg as we talk about stereotypes? Obviously, we're going to do this kind of show again.
Yes. Only that stereotypes and roles, maybe. I like the way Jen talked about this. We do have roles, and sometimes we're in them. I would not trade my husband and kids for the world. The role I had to do myself because, to make it work. But stereotypes are not reality. They're so fleeting. If you put 10 of these women in a room and picked a stereotype and said, what do you think? What do you think? You'd probably get 10 different impressions. Right. So here we are drinking the Kool-Aid of these stereotypes, and they're not even real. Not even real. So that's that's right. They're there. Maybe I should put that up there. They're not even real. They're not even real. Yeah. We make them real by actually buying and drinking the Kool-Aid. So for those of you who, I'm sure there's lots of you who are watching this and saying, how do I get in touch with Bettyanne Green? Because she's awesome. You can go to hearttoheartmarketing.com and check her out there. I cannot say enough how much I appreciate you personally because of all that we do together, but on a friendship and on a personal basis, you are the real deal. You are awesome, and I am so appreciative of you. And I want to just thank everyone again for joining us because I know that you have plenty of choices. How do you spend your time? And we're just excited that you decided to spend it with us. So remember, go check out thelittlewhitelie.com. We've got all these amazing blog posts on there. Again, written by the amazing, Bettyanne. I really shouldn't do that, right? And I'm kind of stereotyping myself right now that somehow I can't do this by myself, but I would rather collaborate with you, and that is why we work together, Bettyanne. I also want to make sure that and when you guys are out there sharing, make sure you do the hashtag Little White Lie, Little White Lie. And you can remove the because we're just using Little White Lie. That way we can track the comments because as you read the post and do read the post, you're going to see that your shares are in there. We're taking your comments and we are putting them in there because what you have to say is so important. So again, until we meet again on our next Little White Lie, you go out there, you little white liars, and you make sure that you give other people an entirely awesome day. We'll see you next time on the next episode of The Little White Lie. Goodbye, everyone.